This map shows the geographic spread of the first great urban civilizations around 2600 BCE. While ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia are far more famous, the Indus Valley Civilization actually dwarfed them both in sheer size, stretching across vast areas of modern India and Pakistan. When we think of the ancient world, we usually expect towering monuments. We look for the hallmarks of absolute monarchs, monolithic tombs, sprawling palaces, and temples designed to project the supreme power of a single ruler. But when archaeologists excavate Harappan megacities like Mohenjo-Daro, they find a startling void. There are no royal palaces, no pharaohs' tombs, and no giant statues of god-kings. We also face a second massive wall in understanding them. Their language remains completely undeciphered. Instead of massive stone decrees, this script is mostly found on tiny steatite seals. These were likely used by merchants to authenticate bundles of merchandise, leaving us completely in the dark regarding their laws, myths, or literature. Without a decipherable written record or grand royal monuments to guide us, we have to reconstruct this entire society from the ground up. We are left to read the civilization solely through its discarded daily objects and civic plumbing. From above, the Harappan approach to city planning reveals a deep mathematical precision. Settlements were laid out on a standardized grid of streets and lanes, built largely with bricks fired to an exact uniform ratio. They completely ignored vertical height to focus on domestic hygiene. In a time when most of the ancient world lived in squalor, nearly every Harappan home featured a private bathroom. These washing areas were highly engineered. Builders used tightly fitted bricks, frequently set on edge, to create carefully sloped, watertight surfaces. From those domestic floors, a small drain would cut directly through exterior wall, directing household wastewater into a comprehensive public street network. The main street drains were capped with heavy stone slabs and included rectangular soak pits to capture waste. This demanded an organized schedule of civic maintenance. Someone had to continually lift those slabs and clear blockages, or the city's drainage would create a severe health crisis. The Harappans prioritized public health infrastructure as their primary cultural monument. Looking closely at the animal bones left behind in the dirt, we find a diet heavily reliant on cattle husbandry and riverine fish, providing a rich, diverse food surplus. That surplus supported a vibrant craft culture. Artisans created complex luxury items like carnelian beads, using specialized heating and drilling techniques to produce exact etched white patterns that were traded far beyond their borders. What makes this wealth unusual is how it was distributed. Even at a tiny 5-hectare village site called Aladino, archaeologists uncovered a massive hoard of precious metal, including multi-strand silver necklaces and gold ornaments. To manage all this commerce, they utilized a vast system of uniformly carved stone weights, ensuring strict regulation of trade across thousands of miles. And they had the free time to play. The dirt is filled with leisure artifacts: terracotta toy carts, stone dice, bird-shaped rattles, and even stacked sets of hopscotch stones. Widespread access to gold jewelry and children's toys suggests a society that distributed wealth broadly among the citizenry, rather than hoarding it in a single capital. This brings us back to the central mystery. How do you organize standardized brick production, international trade, and municipal plumbing without the violent coercion of a dictator? The leading archaeological theory suggests the Harappans operated as a corporate society. Instead of a single royal bloodline, they were likely ruled by competing councils of merchants, ritual specialists, and landowners who managed the cities collectively. Even their most famous human depiction, the so-called priest-king bust from Mohenjo-Daro, is relatively small. It lacks the militaristic aggression and physical grandeur we usually see in the statues of ancient conquerors. While their Egyptian and Mesopotamian neighbors poured massive resources into lavish preparations for the afterlife, the Harappans kept their graves modest. They clearly favored investing their wealth in the living. The Indus Valley challenges our assumptions about how early states functioned. It suggests that a high-functioning urban society can maintain order and complexity without the extreme centralization and massive vanity projects typical of its contemporaries. The Harappan legacy is one of shared prosperity, a blueprint for a civilization defined by the quality of its plumbing, the precision of its crafts, and the leisure of its citizens.